Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. My name is Carrie and today I'm going to be talking to you about taking a gap year and 3 reasons why you should do it. Also just sharing about my experience and what all I did for my gap year. Let's get into it. First, I'm going to get some water. Woohoo! Ow! Okay, gotta get myself into camera mode. Alright, here are my experiences during my gap year and the reasons why I definitely would recommend that you take a gap year as well. Reason number 1 is so that you don't waste time or money. And this is so important. This was probably the main reason why I chose to take a gap year. Some people might think, oh, taking a gap year, you're traveling everywhere, you're going to spend more money than you would not taking a gap year. But in all reality, it's probably not true, depending on what you're doing. The first 4 months of my gap year, I went on a missions trip to Israel, Jordan, and the Congo. It was super amazing. I got to go with a small team of 5 people, really tight-knit group, which was amazing just to get to know myself better and the group and learn how to live with other people as well. Really valuable serving the Lord and seeing different countries and actually living in those countries and being able to experience living abroad firsthand, you know, and doing life with the people. What goes along with not wasting time or money is college. From the time I was like 4 years old, I have always loved playing sports and I really wanted to go to college and play soccer in college. During my senior year of high school, I began to look at different colleges and price check each college and look at the soccer team and the school just in general, of course. Just your basic college search that every high school junior or senior does eventually. Kind of shocked me a ton how expensive college is. I was looking into the Christian universities because personally that's the choice that I wanted to make. I felt like it would be a healthier environment for me. As I began to look at the prices at these different Christian universities, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it's that expensive. You're looking at $30,000, $40,000 plus dollars a year. Granted, that's without scholarships, grants. Even still, it's just outrageous. That was kind of the first reason why I put a pause on the whole college thing. I was like, wait a minute, do I really want to spend this much money and time, 4 years of my life at a school, all for playing soccer? I started looking into community colleges and cheaper options, but really when it came down to it, I realized that the main reason I wanted to go was to continue my soccer career. I didn't really have a specific degree that I wanted to get because in the long run, I knew I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. I'm not sure what I want to do for the next few years. I wasn't dating anyone at the time. Do I go to college and get a degree that I might only use for a couple years? Thousands of dollars of student loan debt. Who knows, I might meet my spouse. We might start having kids right away. I wouldn't use my degree at all, or I might use it for a year or 2 before I started to be a stay-at-home mom. It just wasn't worth it. Reason number 2 why I think you should take a gap year is for life experience. I mentioned that I did a 4-month mission trip at the beginning of my gap year, and then after that I also traveled to Australia and worked as an au pair for 6 months. It was really a crazy time in my life, super awesome, learning about the world and about myself, growth in my relationship with the Lord. Really amazing. Traveling abroad, you grow so much. It's crazy. You're away from your family and friends. You're out on your own. Maybe you're with a small team or a small group, but even still you're away from your parents who you've lived with all your life. You kind of start to begin to realize, wow, this is my life and I need to start making decisions for myself and I need to start being wise about how I spend my money. The life experience that I got during my gap year was crazy. I probably got 2 to 3 years of life experience compared to the 1 year of life experience I would have gotten in college. That's just how I felt about how much growth happened during that gap year. And being so far away and not having family and friends to go to, the Lord just kind of challenged me, like, you need to be growing in your faith on your own. It's now your spiritual walk, it's your personal relationship with me. It just fully had to rely on the Lord. Reason number 3 why I would recommend you take a gap year is to travel. After I went on my 4-month mission trip, it really lit a fire under me, and I had a desire and passion to see more of the world, God's amazing creation, and visit different countries and live in different countries. So there are several different options and ways to travel. I did a mission trip at first, and then for the next 6 months I traveled as an au pair. What an au pair is it's an international nanny. You go online, there's a few different au pair websites where you can fill out a profile and find a host family. I went with aupairworld.com because it's free, and it's really similar to the other au pair websites. How Au Pair World works is you go onto the website, and it's basically like online dating but for au pairs and au pair host families. You fill out a profile of, you know, your personality and what you like to do, what you're looking for. The host families fill out the same thing. They fill out if they want a guy or a gal au pair, different personality things, etc., etc. There's lots of questions that you answer on there, and basically Au Pair World matches you with several families that are looking for the same thing that you are. Then you can message them and set up Skype calls or FaceTime or whatever you want to do from then on. After Au Pair World matches you, they're kind of out of the picture, then you like can message the family and stuff. So that's how Au Pair World works, and that's what I chose to use. It worked great for me. I found both of my host families. I ended up staying with 2 host families. Originally, I was gonna be with 1 host family for a year, but some family things happened. Their grandpa passed away, and so ended up having to leave that family and went to my second host family, and I found both of the host families through Au Pair World. I'm gonna make another video about my au pair experience, tips and tricks I have for you all as well if you're looking into au pairing. There's just so much to talk about. Another way to travel besides au pairing is a program called WWOOF, and it's WWOOF. It stands for Worldwide Opportunities on Organic Farms. This is another option I was really serious about. You go to different organic farms. I didn't look into it extremely because you don't get paid, and I really wanted to be earning money as I traveled. That's why I chose to do the au pair, because you get room and board for free, and then they also pay you per week or per month, however. Each family is different. But with woofing, I know it sounds funny, it's just what it's called, okay? You travel to different organic farms and they pay your room and board, but they don't give you any extra money on top of that. So you work on the organic farm for, you know, 4 or 5 days per week. You get to live there for free. So that's a really cool opportunity, but in the end I just chose to do au pairing because you get money on top of your room and board, and that was important to me, to be saving and also have a little bit of spending money and not be draining my savings account while I was traveling. The third option for traveling, and definitely not the last option, I'm sure there's several more, but these are just the 3 options I looked into, is to do YWAM or a missions trip. If you're new to YWAM, it stands for Youth with a Mission. It's normally younger people. You know, a couple of my friends did YWAM and they loved it. They had really amazing experiences. I've never done YWAM, so this is just based off of what I've heard and whatnot. As far as I know, with YWAM, it totally depends on the countries you're going to, but you also have to pay to do YWAM, as you do with most other missions trips. In fact, I think all missions trips, you have to pay to do them. With YWAM, how it works is you go somewhere, either in the United States or sometimes to a different country, and you do your training. It's called DTS, and it stands for Discipleship Training School, and you do that for 3 months, I think. Then you go out on outreach to another country, and that's where you're actually living with the people and doing whatever your outreach is. That's how it works, but I could be wrong on that. If it's something that sounds interesting to you, I would definitely recommend looking up YWAM, because I've heard lots of good things about it. Another thing I wanted to say about doing a missions trip, I know a lot of times people can get worried about fundraising or nervous. They don't want to ask people for money because oftentimes it's uncomfortable and kind of weird. One thing I would recommend is reading the book called The God Ask. My brother actually recommended this book to me when he found out I was doing a missions trip because he had used it the previous year for his missions work. I ended up reading this book and it talks all about fundraising for a missions trip and gives you pretty much like a blueprint on what to do and how to do it, and takes the pressure off of your shoulders, emphasizes the fact that if God wants you to do this missions trip, that he's gonna make it happen and he's gonna open the doors and fundraise your trip. I would definitely recommend reading the book. I don't know who the author is, but it's like a bright teal cover. Thanks so much for watching this video, you guys. If you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up and comment down below if you have taken a gap year and what you enjoyed about it, what you didn't like about it, or if you're interested in a gap year. Be sure to send me some questions and I'll try to answer those as soon as possible. Also, if you're interested in au pairing, be sure to subscribe because I am going to post another video soon on my au pair experience and tips and tricks I have for you guys for au pairing. So thanks, see you next time.